Hey, I'm back. Chapter 3, The Quiet Question. What if I'm not like everyone else? There was a moment, maybe small, maybe invisible to everyone else, when I first started to wonder if I was different. Not because someone told me, but because my heart kept whispering a secret I wasn't ready to speak out loud. I remember sitting alone on the swings one afternoon watching other girls talk about their crushes on boys. Their excitement felt like a language I didn't understand. I tried to join in, but the words felt hollow on my tongue. I'd say names I thought I should say, but inside my mind drifted elsewhere. Sometimes I caught myself staring a little too long at a girl's smile, or the way her laughter filled the room, and my chest tightened with something I didn't have words for yet. It was confusing, thrilling, and terrifying all at once. But denial was a constant companion. At night, when the world was quiet and my thoughts grew loud, I'd lie awake, tossing and turning, desperate to shake away the truth my heart was trying to tell me. I told myself there had to be a boy I liked. I just hadn't met him yet. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. I wanted so badly to be like everyone else, to fit in, to feel accepted without questions or whispers. I imagined a future where I would fall in love like the stories I'd heard, where I would get butterflies for a boy's smile, where my friends wouldn't look at me like I was different. But the more I fought it, the heavier the secret felt, like carrying a weight I wasn't ready to bear. It was a quiet battle inside me, between the truth that simmered just beneath the surface and the hope that maybe, just maybe, I could force myself to be someone I wasn't. Sometimes that fight left me exhausted and lonely, caught between wanting to belong and waiting to be honest with myself. In those restless nights, I learned that some truths don't come easily. They unfold slowly, whisper by whisper, until finally, you can't ignore them anymore. Chapter 4, Carrying the Mask. How much longer can I keep pretending? The hardest part wasn't just the secret inside me. It was the world outside that I had to keep it from. Family dinners, school hallways, friendly gatherings, everywhere I went, I wore a mask carefully crafted to blend in. I became an expert at hiding, smiling when I wanted to scream, laughing when I felt crushed, saying what people wanted to hear, even when it felt like a betrayal to myself. My parents would ask about boys I was interested in, and I'd scramble for names, any names, to keep the conversation light. Friends would tease me about crushes, and I'd play along, nodding and pretending it was easy. But inside, the pressure was suffocating. I could feel the walls closing in, the constant fear that if I slipped, if I said one wrong thing, the mask would crack and everything would come tumbling down. The weight of pretending wasn't just emotional, it felt physical, like carrying a heavy stone in my chest. Sometimes I'd catch my family's hopeful eyes, expecting me to fit into the mold they'd imagined for me. It hurt, because I wanted to give them that happiness, to be the daughter that they thought I was. But I also knew that if I kept pretending forever, I'd lose myself completely. Every lie I told felt like a step further away from who I was, and every secret became a wall between me and the people I loved. Some nights the fear was so overwhelming I thought I might disappear into the shadows just to escape it all. It wasn't until my adult years, waking up from suffocating underneath all the masks that never fit right, fighting for a breath of air, that I realized I can't keep playing this role anymore. It was never written for me. Chapter 5, Breaking Through. This is me, whether I'm ready or not. I love this part. Sometimes change sneaks up on you in the most unexpected ways. For years, I carried my secret quietly, tucked beneath layers of fear and pretending. But one day, it hit me like a wave I couldn't fight. Her name was Alyssa. I had a crush on her for months before it happened, a quiet longing I kept locked inside. And one day, it just happened. A kiss. Her lips on mine, electrifying, unforgettable. That kiss cracked the walls I'd built around my heart. After that moment, I could no longer deny the truth I'd been hiding from myself. The feelings I'd pushed aside weren't going away. They were real, vibrant, and alive. I realized I'd been chasing that feeling through every man since, trying to find that same spark, that same electricity, but it was never there because it wasn't supposed to be. That breakthrough wasn't loud or dramatic. It wasn't fireworks or a sudden epiphany. It was quiet. It was real. It was the moment I let myself breathe. The moment I started to say the truth out loud, even if just to myself at first. The moment I began to take off the mask, piece by piece. Fear was still there. Doubt still whispered. I didn't fully accept who I was yet. I still fought myself, wrestling with the fear of disappointing my family. I worried that anyone who truly knew me would feel ashamed or confused that being myself might break the fragile image I'd worked so hard to protect. But even with all that, something had shifted inside me, a spark of truth that couldn't be ignored. It was the beginning of a slow, messy journey toward accepting myself, one step at a time. Chapter 6. The Weight of Secrets. I was still performing, still pretending, still afraid. Even after that kiss with Alyssa, even after feeling something so undeniable, I didn't come out. I didn't even fully come out to myself. I buried it under layers of silence, trying to convince myself it didn't matter, that I could still live the life everyone expected me to. But it did matter. The weight of that secret followed me everywhere. It sat in my chest during holidays, during casual phone calls, during every awkward conversation about boyfriends I didn't have and crushes I made up. It twisted in my stomach when my mom smiled at the idea of a future wedding, one she assumed would include a man. I kept trying to push myself into that mold one more time. I thought if I tried hard enough, I could force it to feel natural, that eventually I'd wake up and be straight, or at least feel something for a guy that didn't feel empty. But I never did. The older I got, the heavier it all became. The secret stopped being just a part of me. It became a wall between me and the people I loved. Every time I laughed with friends or hugged my family, I'd think, would you still love me if you knew? And the thought made every moment feel just a little bit lonelier. I wanted to be honest. I wanted to be free. But every time I imagined saying the words out loud, I'm gay, my throat would close. Not because I was ashamed of who I was, but because I was terrified of what it might cost me. What if my family looked at me differently? What if I disappointed them? What if they were hurt, or worse, silent? I wasn't ready to lose them, so I kept the mask on a little longer, but I could feel it cracking. The real me, the one I buried so deep, was clawing her way to the surface, and I hated that I kept pushing her back down. I hated how good I became at hiding, pretending, and making people believe I was fine, but inside I wasn't fine. I was exhausted. I was suffocating on my own silence. Some nights I'd stare at the ceiling, whispering into the dark, I don't want to lie anymore. But even in the quiet, I couldn't fully say it. I couldn't let the words live outside of my mouth, because if I did, I'd have to face them. And once I faced them, once I looked them in the eye, I'd have no choice but to change my life. And that terrified me, because sometimes, even when the truth is beautiful, it's also the scariest thing in the world. Come back for part 3. Thanks for listening on my story so far.